Your relationship with yourself will set the tone for every other relationship you're in. This is the most important relationship. Welcome to Thrivin in the Wild. I'm Taylor Stern. I'm sharing what happens when you step into your vulnerability, face the hard things, celebrate your journey, and giving you your weekly reminder that no one has it all figured out. It's time to thrive. Let's go. All right, y'all, welcome into today's episode. I'm Taylor.
I'm Alex.
And today we are talking about relationships.
That's right, folks. We're in the thick of cuffing season.
We are, and if you're like me and you had to look up what cuffing season means, I will just help you out here. It means the time from October until Valentine's Day when everyone's getting coupled up, you have parties to go to, well, not this year, but you've had parties to go to. You just want somebody to be there to exchange presents with, not have your parents, or family bothering you about, hey, when are you going to settle down, X, Y, and Z. So that's cuffing season. And today we decided that Alex and I were going to reflect on some of the ghosts of relationships past and understanding them, how they can help us, how we can grow from them, how we can learn from them so we can take them into our next relationship.
The first ghost of relationships past is the ghost of control.
Yes, and this ghost was a big one for me. I think that this has been one, I've personally struggled with in a lot of my relationships, and basically what it entails is that you're trying to control. You're trying to control the timing. You're trying to control the other person. You're trying to control, all of the extra, circumstances around your relationships. And what's hard about that is that you can't. And so, I think about this in the sense, and I think you can kind of relate to this now, even though you're younger than me.
Definitely.
Is that I'm getting closer to 30, and I feel this societal pressure and sometimes personal pressure to be in a relationship. I have to do it. I have to force it. I have to go find someone, match with everyone on the dating apps, and I just don't think that's healthy anymore.
It really creates a type of pressure.
It does.
Where, oh my gosh, this person that either is my age or I'm really close with, they've already got everything figured out and they're settling down. And so it makes you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm behind. I've got to figure this out immediately. And as both of us have experienced, forcing anything, whether it's in relationships, career goals, anything, if it's being forced, 9 times out of 10, you're always going to get the result of something that isn't lasting. And it's ultimately not really what you wanted in the first place.
Exactly. You just kind of, I don't want to say settle because maybe you didn't settle, but you forced it. And I think control also has to do with trying to control the other person with some unsaid expectations.
Yeah.
And really making them, unrealistically live up to them or unbeknownst to them at most times. And so trying to do that and saying okay, I'm going to control this person. And I don't think you can go into any relationship dating someone's potential of what they could be or trying to change them because they don't change.
And it creates a frustration throughout the whole relationship.
Yeah.
Where it's like you're constantly resisting what's meant to happen at the right timing. So it's just for both of us in different circumstances and situations we've both been in, controlling and having that mindset that you are in control of either someone's actions or the progress of something, it just kind of comes back and shoots you in the foot ultimately.
So the positive for this one, and something that you and I are both focusing on, is controlling only the things that we can control. And that's our attitude, our mindset, and just basically how we're molding ourselves and working inwards and focusing on us to get ourselves ready for the right relationship at the right time.
It's definitely something to learn from.
It is.
And knowing that if the timing that's happening in your life, in relationships, career, or anything, I think this relates to pretty much everything in your life, if it looks differently from someone else's, that's okay.
That's good.
And we all feel the pressure. So if during this season you are feeling lonely or lacking, or that you should have everything figured out within relationships or pretty much anything, everybody is feeling it to some degree, and we just want you to know you're not alone.
Yes, and I'm not going to make jokes about manifestation because I really love manifesting. But I do, something that I've been working on is affirmations and understanding like daily, like I am working on myself to make, work on the relationship that I want in my life. And just kind of saying that gives me a lot of peace. It really does.
Yeah, it takes away the power of something outside of yourself and allows you to know that you are in control of the person you are and what are things you personally can grow on. And I think ultimately control stems from fear. So for me personally, in my last relationship, when control was something that I personally was dealing with and it was impacting my relationship, it was because I was afraid of things. I was afraid of certain things in the future not working out. I was afraid of, us both not being prepared for the future or in any circumstance. And really the only thing to solve that is to confront that fear, to forgive it and to know that it's valid, and to understand truly that you only have control over certain things, and if it is outside of your immediate capability to try to fix or navigate, it's something that you have to practice surrendering to and surrendering to the fear.
Yeah, that's really true. Control does come back to fear, but controlling what you can control is key there. So, second ghost, let's go ahead and move on to the ghost of comparison. And if you're like Alex and I and you're millennials, or not, or anybody, I actually think this is every generation has probably dealt with this in some form of fashion. But for us, seeing other relationships on social media has been something I have struggled with. It's the ghost of comparison. I compare my relationship or what I'm doing in my life to what I see on social media, what I hear from friends. And it's kind of funny because you've seen it, Alex, the hashtag couple goals. I really restrain from ever using that because, one, I think it's almost unfair to that couple. Like, oh, now they're the perfect couple. They have to live up to this unrealistic standard. And then it's just not true. I don't think that any couple is perfect. I think what makes a couple perfect is accepting their own imperfections.
So true.
And I've really, really struggled with this. And you're going to laugh at me, but I actually think one of the lessons that Oprah, we've seen her talk about, is the fact that, I'm trying to think about it. She was basically saying that, she never looked at other talk shows and she never compared herself to other talk shows. What she did was if she felt like, hey, we're lagging, how can we personally step up our game? So, one thing I've noticed, and I would do this in the future too, is like if I do feel myself kind of feeling a tinge of insecurity or jealousy and doing the ghost of comparison, then I'm going to look inward and be like, why am I comparing my relationship to this? What is the root of this? What does this mean? What is it kind of highlighting in myself? Inward work, I think, really helps with this one.
Yeah, and the pressure of feeling not good enough in that insecurity is something that we all feel. And it's, again, not to be redundant, but it's normal. It's an inclination we all feel. But the most important thing that this has taught each of us is that you can understand that you're feeling a certain way and getting to the root, like you said, Taylor, and knowing that every relationship or post that you see on the internet is half of the story.
Every time.
You're seeing the highlight reel. It's so funny. There's this one account that I follow, and she shows this like perfect couple photo. And then if you scroll, she shows all of the other like outtakes, and it's hair in someone's face or a closed eye or something like that. And that's really representative of the fact that we can't fixate on someone else's finished product of the perfect relationship.
Yeah. So what's the positive here? How do you kind of wrap this one up and help yourself if you're feeling this too?
I'd say that it's taking a step back, turning off your phone for a second, and really understanding that you are not seeing the whole picture. Just truly, I think it's just reminding yourself that even in your own life, the things that you post online do not feature the bad days. They aren't the days where you're feeling discouraged. What we're inclined to put on social media is what we're most proud of. So it's really understanding that you're not seeing the accurate depiction of everything.
Yeah. And just if you feel that way, where does it stem from? So moving on to our last ghost. This one, the biggest one, the ghost of truth.
This ghost definitely has appeared in, I believe, everybody's lives one way or another. And that's walking into a relationship or approaching, talking to someone new, and feeling like you can't truly be honest about either who you are, what you like, what your hobbies are, what you do, because of maybe a sense of insecurity. And
again, fear.
Yeah.
Fear's key in this one is like you're fearful you're going to like lose this person.
Yeah.
Yes, I can say that for myself is that, you know, I've definitely been in relationships before where it was like, maybe I didn't know entirely who I was, and so I was impressionable to a degree. And because I wanted that relationship to work out so badly, I was willing to sacrifice myself. And it can work for a time being. And then eventually you look up and you're like, whoa, I'm kind of resenting this other person. I'm kind of resenting myself. I don't feel comfortable anymore. And that's real. That is real.
Yeah, and if at the start of a relationship it takes you time to kind of share who you are, I think that's really normal, and I think that's healthy,
Yeah.
you know? But I think the biggest thing here is that with being truthful in relationships, if you aren't, which we've both learned that it's important to be truthful and honest about who you are and what you like and what you love and what your values are, if you don't do that, you're not giving that person a chance to truly know who you are. And that ultimately doesn't create a relationship based on any honesty.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest thing here that I'm trying to think of is your relationship with yourself will set the tone for every other relationship you're in.
So true.
Just to say it again, your relationship with yourself will set the tone for every other relationship you're in. This is the most important relationship.
So true. Ultimately, whatever's going on inside of you internally, whether it's insecurity, fear, self-doubt, that is going to project into your surroundings, whether it's a relationship with a potential boyfriend or girlfriend, or if it's with even friends or family. So I guess what we're trying to kind of say here is that you're not alone if you're feeling the tendency to control your relationship or to control your timing. You're not alone if you're feeling the urge to compare your journey romantically with relationships to someone else's. And you're definitely not alone if it takes you time to find truth and honesty in your relationships, because it's all a journey for all of us.
It is. Well, thank you, Alex. We will probably have many relationship talks this year because this isn't the only time I feel this, and there's different things to talk about. And, you know, if you're listening to this, go ahead and check out Andrew and Sean's episode that we did, the interview with them. They touch on wonderful things about who they were before they got into their relationship, entering marriage, now parenting baby Drew, the cutest ever. So go ahead and give that one a listen to. And then, you know, hop on over to our Instagram at Thrivin in the Wild. If you have any great relationship advice that your family or friends have given to you, or just something you've learned yourself, please share that with us, because we are still learning and we're still growing in this. And I think, you know, that's the key here, is that no one's experts. We're just trying to learn and we're trying to grow. And so thanks, Alex, for sharing some of your personal anecdotes here. And I'm excited for what's ahead.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Hi, are you loving the show? Go find that little subscribe button on your podcast app. This will ensure you won't miss a single episode. Until next time.